really thrive in chaos and they really want to create chaos. But with the type of unit that creates chaos, they get so predictable because they keep spamming Kev so many games, and just switching from Hussars to Yanyudao does not make it less predictable, I would say. And there's a huge amount of Modaos on the side of YeahBuddy. So I think the answer is on the field. We definitely know YeahBuddy is capable of playing tight and organized blobs. Also playing around these Arbalists. The unit comms already do not look too promising for Bandits. But if they manage to find some gaps, and every one of the every of these Yanyudao units can full swipe a whole blob, you know, just they go sweep and then the blob is gone. So yeah, maybe that is what Bandits are relying on. The very open map, the multiple angles for a lot of these fighting positions, and then getting this one Kev through that is wiping the blob. But this is so hard against a team like YeahBuddy that knows that the Kev spam is coming with a precision of 90%. I think Bandits, especially in this tournament, were very, very caught in spamming Kev every game. And I do think if you're overdoing it and not doing it like a cheese strategy, it's not the best idea. Only question now, will we see a unit swap into late Sally from Bandits? That could be an idea to go for a heavy Sally out, not with trash units, but with very strong Kev, maybe. But it doesn't look like it. No player getting ready towards the supplies. Also, YeahBuddy not being too worried about any type of Sally currently. In APM's case, I would have called it not being ready. But in YeahBuddy's case, I think they know how to count players on the wall and observe the movement and also press tab. And the combination of the two infos give away if a Sally is happening, at least in the very next 30 seconds. So I guess that is the reason why YeahBuddy is calm. Main gate breached, pretty uncontested, no rushing out crazy units trying to farm the Star Wards pushing. Zealots on the supply from YeahBuddy are getting also preheated, so they are ready to cook the moment they enter the battlefield. Also shout out to Soul. I also started playing a little bit more Zealots in the past week. And yeah, I was like theory crafting a little bit around with Zealots and asking other different people. And Soul was the one who played the most Zealots before. So yeah, he was a big information source, at least for me. Shoutouts. He was also happy in the chat about it. So yeah, here's your highlight, Soul. Your favorite unit getting ready to cook on the supply. In general, YeahBuddy taking their time, opening the breach, pushing all the towers. Unfortunately, efficient, slow, and for us viewers, a little bit boring. But as always, dear developers, give us more maps with more instant action, like Yord, for example, where the action is way more instant. And yeah, I do appreciate less waiting, more fighting. But next season is not too far away, and there's always a chance we might get a good new map. Little skirmish here on the gate. Not too much to worry, and I think it's Vera, right? Yeah, it's Vera trying to find a 1v1 with his pike. Also getting some backup. Pike dismount, always a little bit dangerous. But in general, he did not catch anyone really off guard and out of position. Maul is also not the best target because they can... Sorry, they can speed run out, so... Nice little hero action pre-fight. Unfortunately for him, not really crowned with success. YeahBuddy also with the deeper warbands. Something to keep in mind when we observe the unit trade. Bandits trying to do the speed plug on the tower that we already saw in game number 1 of the Evening Rough Justice versus Story Enjoyers. They also try to speed plug the tower top. And also here we see a reaction of running away. Bandits stick to the plan and keep rushing down the tower. I'm not a fan of this, and they will most likely get murdered. Lucky that most of the trap projectiles did not really hit. But holy crap, they're getting slaughtered. I guess the biggest impact is the trap projectile hitting YeahBuddy by their own trap. I don't know what they did there. It was actually, you know, that they had an idea what they want to do. But the opponent didn't play to what they wanted from them, like pushing up here, for example, and get farmed like here. So they decide to do the absolute suicidal push down in this very narrow choke into YeahBuddy's setup shields and the trap. Now Bandit Kev's coming, one Yandao Kev coming out to resupply this supply fight. I'm actually very, somewhere between shocked and surprised. And I don't know, I'm not a fan. These Yandao will also absolutely do nothing. CCI button is pressed on the stalwarts. And Rakari's Yandao explode for nothing, but the reinforcing Kev is at least getting some of these shields. Trade still horrible. And Bandits keep going the Sally. Okay, now we see where they wanted to use the Kev. Maybe that was the reason they did this very turbo push. But YeahBuddy is trading way too well into all of these pushes. And Bandits burned away half, like 2/3 of their units already. They keep going. I guess they know they need to waste now 6 minutes where they cannot let YeahBuddy get a foot on the A point. Time is their only friend, the only hope they have, otherwise they are so damn cooked. Another set of Yanudau's, good decision to not go in there by Chopper himself, just attempting to go in and wasting some time. But YeahBuddy, being the experienced team that they are, slowly and surely moving as a blob towards the A point, staying tight with the anti-Kev, absorbing all these rushing out Kevs, and getting at least a third of their team onto the A cap. They have the superior unit composition. They have way more units in the bag. Bandits already running low on unit resupply. And now the A point is the thing that matters. 5 minutes also something that is a very long time if you have to rely on it to dance on a point. Rabbit Reggie being the brave man standing on the point here. Nemo with not really charged up Yanudaos from the front. They explode for nothing. And YeahBuddy keeps rolling in. But the next Yanudaos make it also with a speed sweep into Zosian's Modaos that were perfectly braced in front of his friend's units. And YeahBuddy keeps farming off the rest of the bandit units. Good Kev here by Socialist Hippie. Taking the Yeoman to success. Bandits delayed the A-cap once more, but more YeahBuddy units are coming in hot. And Bandits unit trade is going worse and worse. 4 minutes of point dancing is close to impossible, especially against these experienced YeahBuddy players. For now, Bandits are still surviving, but still 3 minute 55 on the clock. Starburst dying in the attempt to kill Holy Hyper's flames. Bossy with the lonely Merms that get now immediately swamped by Doxy with his Kev. Holfitzford's trying to make it onto the point, but YeahBuddy is now way too good set up and they are murdering Bandits in their first attempt to take a game off YeahBuddy. But to be fair, I would say defending against YeahBuddy is a tough thing. The map is attacker-sided, and if you are the underdog, maybe that's not the game you count on. And I do think maybe their attack might be their chance to win. But I do hope, like, I'm sending a little prayer that Chopper has some totally different warbands, is not relying on the same Kev spam, and has something to surprise YeahBuddy. You know, like some like late adjustment to somehow counter YeahBuddy's unit lineups now. Because if they stick to the warbands they have this game, they will also not make it through an attack. I will predict that here. Holy Hyper getting a lot of farm with his flames. Beautiful cooking here, by the way. But not really a difference here to be made. Good play by the Modao player here in the back. Apex, really good. Good eye for the flank. In the correct moment, he's bracing the choke, deleting the flanking Kev. This is exactly the difference between the anti-Kev use of APM and YeahBuddy. There you see the league difference in the individual player skill when it comes to using anti-Kev efficiently. Also, Pope Lex running over the point with his beautiful Kev, getting rid of the last few bandits here. Very clean and brutal win by YeahBuddy that got heavily fueled by Bandits' crazy rush down into the worst position possible. I must say it that harshly. You know, guys, on this channel, like, I definitely did appreciate Bandits' will to be spicy, to be fresh, to be cake. And I do appreciate a lot, like, how they put together, like, a lot of, like, less experienced guys to make the team. All of this I appreciate, but they, in the beginning, their down tower was setting up for absolutely getting slaughtered, unfortunately. Let's all hope game 2 is way better. Binko here, really MVP. Rest of the scoreboard pretty even, messed up. Starburst here, really outstanding performance here of 19 kills in his team. Well played. Also Brave Life here there on the Flames need. Left MVP. And maybe making mistakes, because these mistakes have severe punishment in the rules, pre-communicated before the tournament started. So yeah, please set up your warbands beforehand. Check them with proper tools. If you do not have a proper tool, yeah, I mean, maybe bring up this idea to the organizers to release an Excel tool for everyone that helps calculating warbands with correct leadership values. Yeah, maybe I ask if we can release something for all of these teams, because the amount of incidents was actually quite huge, and also was like huge discussion, and some people were being very angry at the organizers. And I do think, yeah, it was avoidable. That's at least what I think. Come on, dear camera, I want to swap, thanks. Instant trap by Chopper onto the dropper. I guess he wanted to deny YeahBuddy the Zealot charge that you can do there. Yeah, Bandits also not really afraid of Sally out. But to be fair, also in Bandits position, I can understand it. YeahBuddy, I think they are so confident in their blob fighting under these conditions that they do not need something like a Sally where they risk giving Bandits the chaos that they want. Unfortunately, Bandits warbands are still pretty cav heavy. Not that well adjusted. And slowly but surely, we are waiting for the towers to crawl to the walls. Oh guys, this is really the toughest phase of casting, at least for me, because nothing is happening. There's also no variation, you know, like as a player who played this game for, I don't know, 7,000 levels, these tower pushing phases are so boring and repetitive. So yeah, I'm craving maps that do not have these tower phases. I guess Zealots are getting charged again here on the supply. Pretty common if you play them. Also, I do like the tier 4 from the last season here by Bandits. It's actually a pretty interesting support unit. But I do feel like they kind of do what Zealots do, but they are more squishy and do not have access that deep into the blob of disrupting and beating shields to some extent. So of course they help with doing so, but maybe one more Zealot would have been better. But yeah, maybe they do something, like they value the debuff of the unit higher than another Zealot. So it could make sense, but I'm not quite sure. Quick little gate setup here. But nothing really achieved. YeahBuddy not getting catches here in the gate with their heroes, but also Bandits not getting a chance for a good trap or catching hero by themselves. So yeah, preparation phase is slowly getting to an end. Bandits leave the right breach to the supply. Okay, not open. They were just slow. I did really think they maybe leave it open for, I don't know, some rotation stuff maybe. But no, Bandits do not like the rotation, especially not the one on the left side. Very interesting. So I do think, yeah, they want to go for the full chaos with the cav from every angle with different timings. And this is something that I guess can throw off a lot of teams. But you saw it like in the last game, you know, like where I was highlighting Apex, a real good awareness of the cav and the situation and perfectly bracing the Modaos there. YeahBuddy has a lot of this type of players that are smart by themselves, that know when and where to put the anti-cav and to not lose it before the cav is dead. And yeah, these guys will manage to beat the chaos, because every player is doing it by themselves. Dunkel does not need to micromanage these guys into position to stop cav. And there's, I think, the limit for Bandit strategy with the cav chaos. So I think the smartest way to approach this would have been another type of cheese. I don't know, maybe something like this crazy Zealot spam in some variation. But Bandits now coming in from multiple angles. I like the timing. Catching one part of YeahBuddy here in the middle. But YeahBuddy has a good counter reaction here. Moving towards the top. Holy Hyper not getting bursted down immediately with his shields. All the fights happening at the same time. All flanks are cooking here from both teams. But it looks like YeahBuddy is not dying on the weak side and winning the other side faster. So they will reinforce the main fight. Like, this fight is already won. Oh, the Yan Yu Daos got absolutely murdered here. Well played by the Star Wars players from YeahBuddy. Yeah, and they're cleaning up Bandits' first push attempt. And I must say, this Bandits push was really well timed in the beginning. Nice setup, 3 angles. But I feel like they got beaten in the one-on-one and by the unit comms. Also good plug off the gate here by YeahBuddy, showing us how to play this defense. Even in the chaos, their players go for quick rotations into the crucial positions. It always feels like these players on the individual level all understand what the next thing is that needs to happen. CCI on the Star Wars is most likely ready. So yeah, charging these hussars would have not been a good idea. And Bandits now use the breaches and spam their cav. Currently good chances here on the A point. Also solid supply block and still. Oh, the cav kills a lot of heroes there. But not a lot of units, unfortunately. And we see Bandits now making it onto the A cap. Supply is still blocked. Really good supply block by Starburst here. Once again, him being one of the core players of his team, taking this crucial role and opening Bandits the way onto this A point. Yeah, but he could not reset in time because of this good supply block. And now the important thing is for Bandits, not lose this fight. Do not try to rush the end cap and lose the fight. You need to win the fight, Bandits. Don't rush through, you will get eaten. No. Don't rush the end cap. You're in the perfect spot before. Yeah, but he will be right behind you. You will not back cap this. No. The idea is interesting, but it's not how this map works. Yeah, but he's also not a team that gets like easily, you know, like irritated by these moves. You just lost units for free there. And you could have just wiped there next to the A point and then reset for the end cap. Fortunately for Bandits, the unit rate didn't like swing too much. And they're still catching some of the units. And maybe YeahBuddy is now going for the counter push here. Opening up some chaos for Bandits. But yeah, Bandits have to run away and save some units. They got more space, but they lost so many units for it. And they are actually now in the worst position compared to just reset, like wiping on A and then resetting. I know Bandits want to play fast, but in this case, this was not the way to do this. In general, like the higher level the lobbies are in CB, like out-rotating people and capping, like back-capping them, like a full point without winning a fight is not possible. Like none of the maps is big enough to really do that. Or like none is maybe a stretch, but like 90%, 99% of the maps don't give you the chance to do so. And if you try it, you would most often get punished with losing a lot of units. So that was another time Bandits being Bandits, trying to be fast and outsmart people. But yeah, the thought was faster than the actual units. And that makes these plays impossible, unfortunately. But still, Bandits have a chance here. YeahBuddy only with a slight unit advantage. That is most likely also in, like mostly in green and blue units, as much as I can assume it from the unit warbands. But Bandits definitely need a very convincing next fight, otherwise they are not going to win this. But YeahBuddy has the perfect scenario here on the end cap. Full end cap needs to be kept. 6 minutes only left on the clock. Slight advantage. Only 1.5 fights for Bandits. Like unit wise. So they cannot like pull insane amounts of double units to swarm YeahBuddy off the point. So chances for YeahBuddy are currently very high to win this and stay in the composition for the top placings in CBR. And YeahBuddy being not really pressured here. Bandits taking a long setup time, putting all their players on the different flanks. And because they know they do not have a time problem, they have an efficient wipe problem. They need to wipe efficiently. Good catch here onto the Cav. That was too slow and didn't have an ability most likely. And also is lazy now, getting attacked and maybe overwhelmed on the supply. Main fight also breaking out. And we are quickly swapping over. Maybe into a perspective where we can see both of the fights happening. But it looks like YeahBuddy is massively winning this main fight. And there we see one of the things that I guess most teams need to remind themselves of. It doesn't matter if you overpower like one player with 3 on the flank, if you're simultaneously losing the main fight. Because the rule of thumb, you want to win the bigger fight because that's more unit swing. And as you saw, like the unit swing was absolutely immense. Bandits got massacred on the big fight. And then the flank onto the supply, that does not matter at all. Yeah, very clean last fight here for YeahBuddy. Most likely putting the Bandits' hopes to an end to get this 1-1. I think Bandits had a lot of strong phases in between, where they got objectives at least and got forward. But yeah, some of these like bad decisions they take because when they want to play very fast lead to them losing the unit rate unnecessarily. I think they would have had a much better chance if they like the moment they got the A point and YeahBuddy was caught in this crossroad here. Let me point it out while we are waiting for the lobby to finish. Like here in the crossroad there was like 5-6 players from YeahBuddy still. With all their respawns, they could have just farmed this pretty easily. And then move on. Because YeahBuddy is spawning back there. And then the unit rate would have been better by, I don't know, 100, 200 units maybe for Bandits. Most likely. And yeah, then they would have had a better chance at the end cap. And for the end cap fights, I would say trying to take the supply with more people can make sense, but then you need to like hide your main blob. You cannot get engaged here. Then you need to like stall here until Lazy is dead. Your 3 people, you know, they have like soft reset and are ready to push in and going this main road down. And maybe get like attention by more people from here, right? And cause an overreaction by the defender, and then you push in your main blob. But this requires like very good comms and a good awareness of all players involved. And I do think that is maybe a little bit too tough for a team like Bandits, where they have also a good amount of less experienced players that are not like that used to playing tournaments. So if you do something like this and you make these chaotic flanks, maybe do not make flanks that are likely to overwhelm a side on the flank. Maybe make small flanks that create over rotations or get you slight advantages, like one player from here, one player from here, you know, but you're not risking your main blob to be underpowered. So yeah, I hope it helps the Bandits. I know some of the guys watching stream and VODs. And yeah, I would love to see these guys thrive, because I think they have a very good foundation to be an interesting to watch and good team. And I mean, they also got into first division already, so that's definitely nothing to underestimate in general. But yeah, I think they can get better, as all of the teams that we saw today, because there's no perfection, just constant room for improvement. And in Bandits, I would love to see that. Tagi trying everything, but Keen Jade putting him to sleep with his glaive. Also, in general, I do really appreciate you guys supporting your favorite teams and players in the chat, because a lot of them watch the VODs back and they massively appreciate your positive comments. Maybe also your ideas about the game. And I also appreciate all these comments, because for me it makes the streaming more interesting, watching back everything. Yeah, for example, with Temple, I did one evening where we watched back all the games and had our fun discussing about it. So yeah. Keep commenting, keep giving input. I really appreciate it, alone for the sake of me having more fun. So yeah, thanks a lot guys for supporting the stream. Thanks for all the new followers. Thanks for the Prime subs. I do really appreciate all your guys' support. And yeah, I see you guys next week for the last game day of CBR this season during the regular phase, until we get maybe some sort of tiebreakers. Akari here with the MVP in his team, slaughtering a lot of shields, unfortunately not enough of them. And Lazy with a crazy 25-0, 149 unit kills. Very well played to Lazy here. Farming off the chaos of the Bandits, I would say. Getting all of these 1v1 picks